In a shocking development, we have more articles this week claiming that physical media is dying because Sony announced that they're ceasing production of Blu-ray discs with no successor. But what does that really mean? Let's talk about it. So I feel like we're getting these articles every week now. Physical media is dead because of this thing, that thing, this manufacturer is just changing their business practices. Whatever it is, it seems like it's doomsday all the time. And this week's version was Sony. Sony announcing that they are ending the production of Blu-ray discs. And when that was first reported, there needed to be some clarity, and there were still some reporters trying to get questions answered from Sony. And now we have the answers, and it's exactly what I thought. It's just recordable media, and it's really not that big a deal. If you go back to around this time last year, I think like February of 2024, Sony Japan had mentioned that they were probably going to stop making recordable Blu-ray discs, like the blank BDRs that are out there that you can pop into your PC or whatever. You can record, you can put home videos on. I mean, you can do lots of like borderline illegal bootleg stuff with as well, like all that. And it makes total sense because I can't imagine how many of those they're really selling right now for recordable media. People aren't like archiving stuff like home videos on physical media anymore. Like even I personally, as someone who loves physical media, I would potentially back my stuff up on like DVD, Blu-ray, but I'd be way more likely to back it up on a hard drive, and I'd be way more likely to also have a backup in the cloud just in case. And I just can't imagine a world where I'm sitting there waiting to burn Blu-ray discs when I could just load it onto a hard drive much quicker. So there wasn't probably a market that much anymore. There's some archival like stuff that maybe was using this, but there's actually other companies that are working on archival optical discs and potentially even looking to improve them, like have discs with huge amounts of storage and looking to innovate in this way. Sony wasn't. Sony was done with this, and they decided their business model wasn't that anymore, and so they stopped. And it's really not that big a deal. It's recordable Blu-rays, it's recordable mini discs, if anybody's still using those. And the reality is, there's probably still literally millions of these things out there and available. Maybe not so widely available as like DVD-Rs and recordable DVDs or CDs, blank CDs, but there's a ton of Blu-ray discs available if you still wanted them. And I believe there's other manufacturers who also made them as well. So this got a lot of attention because it's Sony, and Sony is not only an electronics manufacturer, but they are a movie studio. They have Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. They have just Sony Pictures. And it's, I think caught a lot of people by surprise because Sony is also now doing a lot of work with Disney titles and basically producing all of their physical media. And so I think the fear was, oh no, Sony's dropping out. That means everything from Sony, Columbia, everything they own. That means Disney, Fox, but that's not the case. This has zero effect whatsoever on home video, physical media, licensing, and like those real studio titles that you would buy, because Sony wasn't making those discs. They're producing them and they're working on transfers and they're, working on those kind of things. But like 95% of the discs are made at a Technicolor, or I think it's Vantiva is like their parent company now that owns Technicolor. Like 95% of them are made at that plant in Mexico. Like that's who makes discs. That's who makes video games and movies right now, is that disc pressing plant down there in Mexico, which is why with tariffs and 25% tariffs coming on Mexican goods, you could have a whole separate issue here with physical media, something to keep an eye on. If that goes into effect, 95% of your stuff's coming from Mexico, so 95% of your stuff just got a 25% increase. We'll see what that does to the whole market. But this Sony news is just not what it was made out to be originally. And of course, I got the messages. I have concerned people. I know this, which is why I wanted to make a video and cover this, because it is just not a big deal to me at all. Realistically, the only people that this probably affects are potentially the people that make like bootleg Blu-rays. And I know there's lots of them. They're all over Etsy. They have their own websites now. They have their own Instagram accounts. And a lot of it is like making bootlegs of like Netflix shows, or a movie like Barbarian, which is probably now sold literally thousands of bootleg copies on Blu-ray. Disney, Fox just need to put that out and put a proper release out. But movies like that, Prey, before Prey came out, on Blu-ray was a huge bootleg seller. People just trying to get these movies and shows that have been stuck on streaming, stuff from Apple TV that don't ever get a physical release. Like, those bootleggers might have an issue now because they're going to run out of optical recordable media. But I think it could be years before they actually ever run out, because there are so many discs out there and the demand is just so small now for these kind of things. So there's really nothing to worry about. Physical media, again, evolving, not dying. I actually wrote a whole blog about this on my new Substack blog, which I'm going to plug here. I've been making a ton of videos, obviously, on Instagram. I'm still making YouTube videos. I'm doing everything I can, but one thing I started was a blog on Substack, and it's actually just at jeffrauseo.com. I'll put a link in the video description and in the pinned comment if you want to subscribe. It's totally free. There is a $5 a month paid tier if you want to get some extra access to like giveaways and stuff, but all the content is free. And I've started writing over there because it's been a little easier to write sometimes than record videos when you got kids running around. I can write an article out, but I wrote this article about physical media evolving, not dying. Like, it's not a slow death. It's an evolution. It's becoming a niche thing. It's becoming something that's run by boutique independent labels that are going to license titles out. And so if you want to read more on kind of the evolution of physical media and Blu-ray and home video and where this is heading, because I think a lot of people are still very nervous, and every time they see the news, they're like, this is it, this is the end. I think we're so far from the end. It's just not mainstream anymore. It's just a very strong niche market, like so strong that Vinegar Syndrome sells out of titles like The Keep in less than 24 hours. Like, that's a very, very strong market to sell 5,000 copies of something in less than 24 hours. But it's not 5 million copies. So the market has shifted and changed, and you're getting things like Lionsgate Limited, and you're getting Second Sight and Umbrella Entertainment, and you're getting, you know, these Walmart exclusives. Like, you're getting more stuff that's like exclusive, collector's edition, limited edition, focused kind of stuff on this niche. That's how it's changing. That's how it's evolving. And there's really nothing to worry about. But if you want the whole thing, check out the article, check out the other stuff I've written on there. I'm going to write a lot of stuff. It's been nice to like flex the writing muscles as I'm finishing up my book, which will be coming out later this year, probably summer or fall of this year, 2025. Writing has been like, it's like good practice, and I'm hoping this first book becomes a second book, becomes a third. So if you want to read some stuff and, you know, you're on the go, you can read it on your phone, on the Substack app. It's very easy to access. It's, you know, pretty much available everywhere, and it's totally free. If you do pay, a couple of you guys are supporting with the $5 a month thing. That's cool. Love that. Appreciate it very much as an independent creator, but I'm keeping the content free so that everyone can find it, so that more people on Google can find it. And so now they're not only finding videos from me, kind of trying to set the record straight on these topics and others, but you might find some articles as well. So long story short, we're all good. Sony's fine. Sony is still making Blu-ray players. They're still producing those. They're still working with Disney and Fox. They're still doing a ton of stuff on their own with catalog titles, stuff from Columbia. Sony's really one of the better studios out there when it comes to diving into the catalog. And there's a reason why, you know, they picked up what Disney was doing and tried to help out, and got some great Disney Fox stuff coming out this year, and some great stuff that came out in the last few months of 2024. So a lot of good to look forward to, especially when it comes to Sony. And this news on the tail of the LG, you know, Blu-ray player ceasing production, like, just kind of, again, spun up all these articles about physical media dying. And it's just such doomsday overreaction. We don't need it. It's fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. It's just changing. And if you're still like excited about physical media, you have nothing to worry about. There's plenty of available players. There's plenty of people making discs. There's plenty of great releases, more than literally ever. So what's there to worry about? I think we're in a good spot. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this eased some of your fears, concerns, if you had them, explained kind of what's going on in this world, in this ever-changing, evolving industry. But if you want to read more about it, check out my blog. Check out some of my other videos here. I covered news on LG and their Blu-ray players ceasing production. I've covered multiple different, like, Sony stopping, different physical media trends that have happened over the last few years. There's plenty of videos that explain where this is headed and my thoughts on this. So plenty of videos. Check out the blog. You can find me on social media. all that good stuff. All those links will be in the description. I appreciate any of you hop on over there, and I hope to interact with you again on another level outside of the algorithm too. It's the other cool thing about the blog is like I own it. I own the email list, like it's mine, and I don't have to worry about YouTube showing you the videos or Instagram showing you the videos. It's just you subscribe and you get an email and it says, hey, I wrote a new article. Do you want to check it out? Great. If not, you don't have to. But at least you get to see it and you're aware of the news, because so many people miss the videos. But appreciate y'all watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I will talk to you all soon.